Welcome to the freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Hey folks, Dude here, coming to you, another iteration of Dude After Dark. This one, of course, me being a, potentially not really all the time there, and in any case, we find ourselves with the situation where I got stuff I gotta do. I don't have a lot of time to do it. I need to do it during the time in which I'm gonna be doing the podcast. So I won't be doing the podcast, I'll be doing something different. And good stuff like that there. And looking at things as we see ourselves, we're now looking at the line of travel. Oh, my stars and garters. We probably should be putting that puking sound after this component of the news stories at large. We're going to be talking about Anheuser-Busch. Oh, man, that whole Dylan Mulvaney thing where they basically said we're going to do stuff differently because we want to be, nice. Oh my. It could be said maybe they're trying to be maybe a little too nice. I've had conversations with people and they're like, well, why are these companies going so woke? Why are they so afraid of this, mass extinction event type of, it's like, because they really don't have a set of, Duke Nukem, please.
Balls of steel.
Yeah, so I think if they showed some intestinal fortitude or maybe some, balls of steel, they wouldn't have these problems. So all they really had to do simply is just tell these guys, look, we're not political, we don't do these things, we're actually apolitical, we simply just want to make a product, sell a product, and don't try to drag us into your suck. That's really all really needs to be happening. Now, what's really working out for Anheuser-Busch InBev? Well, they're down like about $5 or $6 billion. Oh, no! Yeah, it could be said that potentially they're looking at more than a little bit of, yeah, that. I don't know what possesses these guys to go, oh yeah, we're going to be so beholden to a group of, what, 0.5%, if even that, of the standard population in the United States? Yipes. Just yipes. Spinning it over to the other side of the equation, District Attorney Alvin Bragg, well, your little gag order gambit got slapped down. Let's see, scrolling over here, Walmart decided after 17 years of being in operation in certain parts of crime-ridden Chicago, it's just not worth it anymore. So they're rolling out, closing down a bunch of stores, but it took 17 years for them to figure that out. Holy crap. This one is stinging. The Democrats are now suffering another crippling loss, but it's not from an election. Oh no. Nope, the GOP just flipped in a 70-vote supermajority in Louisiana because somebody else decided they weren't a Democrat any longer simply because they decided they weren't a Democrat, but they could use the old Reagan line or the old Charlton Heston line. I didn't leave my party left me. And people in good conscience decided that they just could not stay in the party because it's just going so far to one side or the other of a polar extreme. And I do mean polar extreme as in like neutral to left to right. This one is completely slapped down and holy crazy, but a Texas judge has now slapped down a major thing about the food and drug thing, supposedly knocking down a abortion pill. Holy crap, they're losing their cookies. Scrolly. I've had some fun with the whole Budweiser thing, but the most glaring thing that Budweiser did after realizing how badly they committed, snoo! Oh no. It was not snoo. It was not snoo in the slightest. They got, Soundguy, yeah, they got the whole deliverance. They didn't get any snoo out of that one. That was not a pleasurable experience. And the whole sucky, we're so patriotic video that they created, oh my stars and garters, you want to talk about recompense, slap down, and people getting even more pissed off. When you start rapping on the hornet's nest of going, we're so patriotic because we're an American company, it doesn't sell to those people already disaffected and majorly offended with the stuff you did previously, which was kind of not American or patriotic. Nice try, Budweiser, but damn, you guys really screwed the pooch on this one. How bad can it possibly get? Wait, there's more. How do you go past that one? Trump, and I've said this before, Trump really, truly needs to just shut the F up with this whole DeSantis and putting fingers thing and all the rest of that stuff. Dude, shut up, win the election, and that's all you need to do. There's no reason why you need to act like a complete and total blanking asshole to try to knock down your potential running guys. It just gets bad, okay? I mean, when you do this type of stuff, you diminish yourself, you diminish the party, and if worst case scenario, you disenfranchise those people who are like, you know what? I don't see really anything wrong with DeSantis, and the fact that you're slapping him down kind of makes me not really want to vote for you as well. So Trump, STFU. You know what that means, folks. So STFU and stop acting like an asshole. Well, other side of the equation on the beer thing I can say real quick and dirty. I thought it was really kind of classy of all things that could have been done when Yingling basically just said, hey, we're an American company and we make beer. That's literally all they said. It was the best counterculture ad tweet ever. No fluff, no weirdos, just a hand holding a can in front of a flag. Yeah, thanks, sound guy. No fluff, nothing stupid, just essentially these guys saying this, quote, Yingling, the oldest brewery in America, independently owned and family operated since 1829 because we make good beer. Case in point, folks, I'm on the East Coast. Yingling is obviously all over the flippin' place. It is good beer. I mean, I'd rather do like Yingling. It is one of my preferred drinks. If I'm in an area where there's nothing else on the menu that I'm seeing right now that's grabbing me, I'm going to grab a Yingling. Why? Well, because because they said, we ain't political, we're an American company, we make beer. That's all you need to say, man. Stop with all this.
Oh, we like societies, this, that, and the other thing, and we gotta be so beholden to it because we love it so. Because if we don't talk about it, we're gonna get hammered.
Just make the flippin' beer. Speaking of things societally disgusting, the Chinese were running, of all things, a quote-unquote Chinese Communist Party police department in New York City, and were operating, quote-unquote, a jail. Yeah, so essentially they had slave labor probably taking place, and but the Chinese food was probably freaking awesome, slightly assembled by slave labor. So anyway, these Chinese dirtbags are doing their thing in New York City. They got busted, but you know what? What's really, really interesting about this whole story that people really aren't talking about is the mere fact that these guys knew the raid was coming and they cleaned out their computers or whatever storage medium they were using. So essentially they busted the guys, but in terms of information, they got bupkis. I call Bravo Sierra on that one, folks. Yes, full-on Barbara Streisand. Scrolly. House Committee is now doing some interesting crime stat interest stuff on, well, D.A. Bragg, mostly because federal funds are being used to enforce and play political games. And, oh yeah, the Republicans are currently running stuff in the Congress. Power of the purse, baby. Power of the purse. The news stories about this would have been completely off the charts, but I can tell you for a fact, it's probably one of those things you really, truly want to have. Another arrow in your quiver. You want to have a USB... there's no other way to say it politely, but you want to have a USB... condom. Sound guy. No, not that. Never mind. Anyway, what you're talking about here is a device referred to as a data blocker for your USB device. Essentially, it's referred to as the USB condom. And what it does is it stops something called juice jacking. That's when you plug into a public charging station and somebody goes,
Hey, I got the ability to go into your stuff back door because USB, besides throwing power, throws data.
so as long as you have a way to stop the data transmission and get the power, also known as a USB condom, they won't get your stuff. Get a USB condom. It's very simple to get on Amazon. They're about $5 a piece. I got a bunch of them. They work just fine. Mostly I use them in my car because I do have a charging station for people who use that on their phones, and I don't want people going in and playing,
I'm the DJ. I'm gonna change everything on the radio now and play with all the settings in your car. Why? You gave me a direct conduit.
yeah, then the next thing you're hearing is,
I love this song.
I'm not going to do that, folks. In an industry first, this is completely badass. Of all people, High Point, with their carbine, decided to make something in that spiffy new little caliber 30 Super Carry. So essentially now you have a cartridge and a bullet diameter of 7.62 versus 355 versus 9mm. So essentially what you have is a 30 caliber bullet. So it's 3011 versus 355. So essentially you've lost a couple of tenths of an inch. You have a smaller bullet, which means you have more rounds in the magazine. So potentially you have a 15-round stick in this thing if they decide to make it. And it is going to hit very close to 9mm specs. And it is going to have almost zero recoil. Completely badass. This thing looks absolutely intriguing. And all the High Point stuff tends to work very, very well. And it's cheap. Alright, I don't want to make this video too terribly long, but there is a, well, Sound Guy's not going to want to hear this, but I secretly stripped the audio off of video, and I came up with a little short, so I'm going to insert that in here as a last thing. And Sound Guy, tough cookies, I'm playing it. I don't care what you say. Yeah, yes, it's the unedited one. You can flash all kinds of signs at me through the recording booth class. I'm not going to stop right now, and we're just going to roll that marvelous bean footage. Here you go, folks. Why Sound Guy sounds like Sound Guy. Alright, this is a behind-the-scenes story that most people really don't know about, and I'm simply going to play it for you now. The thing about it is, the Sound Guy really doesn't want that part put out. Oh no, we're putting it out there. People are going to realize what happened to you and why you sound the way that you do. No, that's too bad. We're going to play that. Anyway, so there's actually a behind-the-scene video, and I'm going to have to convert it over to audio, obviously, for the podcast, because, we basically have to do stuff the way that we do stuff, and unfortunately for Sound Guy, no, deal with the fact that I'm simply going to play this thing the way it plays, okay? So anyway, looking at this thing the way it is, Sound Guy actually is a doctor. Most people would never ever think that, but he's actually a doctor. Of all things, he was actually a obstetric gynecologist, so he was the guy working in the delivery room playing catch. Yeah, which is why it's a double-edged sword when he does these things. When he does, the meep meep rip. Yeah, like Patriot Fever's, poor Mrs. Patriot Fever's been the sufferer of that one. Anyway, so the way, shape, and form is essentially, he's also a scary smart guy that invented a medication. The medication is called speedaburfafen. Now if that even sounds remotely like, dude is throwing a fastball out the crotch of a female, yes, you are exactly correct. Speedaburfafen creates the fact that the kid is just gonna go... yeah, just like that. This Sound Guy sounded quite a bit more normal than, well, what he previously sounded like.
Okay, nurse, hand me the speedaburfafen.
Is my wife supposed to be giving birth that fast?
Sir, please relax. You're in the delivery room. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Uh-oh. Oops.
Why, you dirty little...
So that's why Sound Guy now sounds like this. Yeah, tough luck, Sound Guy. On that note, folks, I'm going to break off on this one. Have a good one, and I will catch you guys next week. So, eat good, keep thundering, as always, you know it, you love it. And, well, sorry that it could have been a visual besides an audio, but at least you got a quarter of a podcast, not a full podcast. And you got some podcast. So, some podcast. Catch you guys later, and I'll see you next week. See you guys.